And we're on. Daniel Betancourt and Todd Schroth here. Everybody, hope you're having an awesome Monday. Wanted to bring our coaching tips to you. Had a little switch up today. We want to talk about new agents and some things that they need to look out for to get started in this business. There's been a lot of new blood coming to the business, and I thought it'd be good to bring some ideas on that because I'm in a couple of new agent groups, and I just think there's so much misinformation, or where do I begin, etc. And Danny and I were talking today about kind of what is, I think, some of the top things. So I've got a couple topics. Daniel does as well. Daniel, thanks for joining us. And I know you wanted to talk about something you have coming up next week.
Oh, yeah. There's for anyone watching this or for new people or even experienced agents, on February 2nd, Club Wealth and Isaiah Colton companies, there's two masters of marketing and sales. They're holding a free virtual summit online. So all you have to do is get the invitation, and we can share that with you after this episode is over. But it's going to be a free sales and marketing summit. They're going to have about a dozen expert speakers, and it's a free virtual event. And if you've ever attended a Club Wealth virtual event, you'll be blown away. So highly encourage you to go, and can't beat free.
Always the best thing. Gotta love the online live events because we can attend them a little bit more often. But I love getting to the live events because I actually pay more attention. But I love how we're able to give back a lot more often than we were having to travel to go to places. It allows us to do more and bring more value back. Yeah. So let's talk about new agents. You know, you and I are new agents many, many moons ago, last century.
I'm young. What are you talking about?
I'm not. I guess I'm like at the turn of the century, became a realtor.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago. We'll leave it at that. So some things that I wish I would have known about. I mean, I've got a couple things, but I want to talk, number one, business planning. You know, you got to have a plan in place where you're going to go. You know, a couple of things is that where you are today, where you want to be, how you're going to get there, how to measure your performance, and where to make a course correction. So like example, if this year we do see a correction, which, you know, there's going to be a foreclosure short sale, you know, potential correction coming to the market, not a values correction, but more just a different type of inventory put out. How do you pivot your business to that avenue? And a lot of the business planning comes from, you know, how much money do I want to make? How many transactions is that going to take? To how many contacts I need to make? To what does my database look like and my marketing need to look like? So there's really 5 to 6 key points, and then you dive deep into that stuff.
Yeah, your business plan should be more than like survive, you know, or pay the mortgage. A lot of people just jump into the business and all they're thinking about is where does this next check come from, and mortgage payment, car payments coming up. So the business plan should be more comprehensive than, you know, be able to keep a roof over my head. You should try to map it out as much as possible. And if you're unsure how to do that, you know, speak with someone who's more experienced at doing that to help you out.
It was funny. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and the guy said to go from W-2 to 1099. And, you know, W-2 is great. I got to check every Thursday or Friday or every 1st and the 15th. Everything's done. Right. You know, it's 1099 is a different story because I don't know when I'm going to get my next check until I make the next sale. And I'm closing tomorrow on that property. But do I get my check at the title company? Do I have to bring it back to the office? Do I wait 3 days, et cetera, et cetera? So you got to have that plan in place to really, you know, one, function, you know, make your funds work, everything, to know how your business is going to go. And every year you want to create a new plan because things are going to change. So Danny, you've got one you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, for new agents, I think a big one is to improve and work on your online presence. So I know a lot of new agents, when they get into the business, they feel like, you know, what online presence are you talking about? But it's really important because when someone's Googling, or if you start talking to someone about the services you offer, a lot of people will go to Google and look you up and see, you know, what can they find about you on Google? Are you experienced? You can go on and create a bio, you know, type one up. Maybe a paragraph, maybe 2 paragraphs, create a bio, and Google some of the high-producing realtors in your area. Google whoever that realtor is who's sending your house a bunch of postcards every year. See where they are online, and go to all of those real estate websites and create an account for yourself, create a bio for yourself, because if you do that, when someone looks you up online, they're going to see you're on a bunch of different real estate websites. You know, talk about the hobbies that you enjoy, talk about the years of experience that you bring as a team, because remember, your brokerage, your broker, you're all a team and you're working on transactions together. You're not out there solo. Even if you are an agent that's not on a formal team, you still have a team behind you. So you wanna let the world know, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, make sure it says you're a realtor. It doesn't say whatever you were doing last time, before you got your real estate license, and start spreading the word.
We just had an agent join our team who's no longer on the team. And I go to look at the person's profile. It's got them at one company, yet they're registered at another, and yet they're already in our team. And you wouldn't know where the person works, what they're doing, etc. And so it's like you've got to make sure all your stuff matches. One tip I got from another agent who's very high profile as far as the publicity is make sure you have the same professional photo on everything. Your Facebook profile picture matches your business profile picture, your Instagram, TikTok, whatever. All has the same thing. If you update one, update all of them, because then you become a brand across the social media networks. And
right.
I think the other part is like even on LinkedIn, putting your social links inside your bio.
Mm-hmm. Yes, have a way for people to contact you and different, make those bios work for you. So go on all of the different real estate websites, all of the popular websites. As realtors, they allow us to go in there and create a profile and account for ourselves in hopes that we'll get leads from those websites. And, I've gotten leads from websites that I don't pay any money to. So just go out there and tweak your bios. That's
the best kind of opportunity. Another one, which, I don't know how it's going to work for new agents, but I think you can get on, is Google My Business. Mm-hmm. We're just diving into that stuff. And we've had our profile set up forever, but treat it like a business page. And as a new agent, as an independent contractor, I'm told you can create your home as a business address on Google, and then start putting your stuff on there as well. Because a lot of people will say Orlando Realtor or selling my home in Orlando, and having that pop up as well. And that's free.
Right. Yeah. Google, you might as well leverage Google. It's the #1 search engine in the world. So if you create a profile on their search engine, the public's going to find you.
Yep. So another one I've got is building your database. We're all trying to, work the best. Anytime you get into the business, I don't have $5,000, $2,000, $4,000, $10,000 a month to go throw at marketing. So unless I'm coming in with a chunk of change that I'm going to invest in this and treat it like a high-end business right away, like where do I get my business from? It's Sphere. Those are the people that you want to leverage in the beginning, because they're going to be the ones that are going to bring you their friends, their family, who know, like, and trust you. And that's the best kind of business to get versus paying Zillow $4,000 or $5,000 a month, Google pay-per-click, Facebook ads. They all take 6 to 12 to 24 months to convert, where my friend who just referred me a buyer today is looking to get into their next home in the next 2 months. So that's the best type of business. Now, how do you, reach them is my biggest question. And it's being vocal about real estate on your social media profiles, sending them a handwritten card. Hey, just let you know, I just got involved in real estate. I'm starting a new career. Whatever it is, it's going to tie in great to how I was a nurse or anything. Right.
Yeah. You have to have conversations, and a lot of conversations with new people. Let them know that you work real estate. All of those companies that you are loyal to, your, dry cleaners, restaurants that you frequent. Let the employees and the business owners know there what you're doing, because you've been putting money in their pockets for a while. Maybe they can return the favor. If someone speaks to them about real estate needs, they can recommend someone to you. And in addition to that, kind of tied in with the last one, is online. There are tons of referral exchange network groups. So you can sign up, just, go on Facebook and look up referral networks for real estate or real estate referrals, and join all of these groups, because a lot of referrals are being exchanged. In Orlando, for anyone who's watching here in Central Florida or Florida, is a popular destination. So I see a lot of Florida referrals out there, but there are referrals from all over the country being exchanged there. So you just have to be there. Sometimes someone will post something and no one responds for hours.
And then I get in like 10 minutes later, there's, some that are 300 people have already responded, and they have the cheerleading squads that are in there, which is great. You want to have a cheerleading squad. Right. The first to get to, it's the first person is going to be usually the first to get the referral. But some people get inundated with those as well. But the referral groups and like the referral exchange and HomeLight and many of them. And if you just Googled referral companies, you're going to have 100 pop up. I mean, obviously get your name in every one of them as possible. Again, create the same bio across all of them, because if the referral company wants to research you, at least the stuff matches up.
Right. Make it interesting. Put your personal interests on there, and people who are like-minded will connect with you.
So one of the things you just mentioned was your number 2, following top influencers. Let's dive into that.
Yeah. So something I've recommended to a lot of agents out there is, if you want your profile to be seen more often online, look up agents that you look up to. If there's an agent in your area that you feel is crushing it and gets all the business, Google them, see all the websites that they're on. And if most of them are going to be websites that you can go on and create your own profile. So when a customer looks you up online, you want to give the impression that you're everywhere. And so the way you can do that is by, you're not going to know all the websites having very little experience, but if you use Google, leverage Google, and look up Todd Schroth, or whoever's the top dog in your area, you're going to see they're on 50 different websites, real estate websites. And you just go to those websites and it'll say, are you a real estate professional a lot of times? And if so, sign in or register, create an account. And that's a good place to start.
One of the things, just to kind of tip off of that, where you're trying to see people that are out there, if you Google my cell phone number, it will pop up 500 different places.
Right.
Make sure you have the number you want to be contacted at everywhere. And because it's like, if someone Googles me, they're going to see my cell phone number pop up. I do get missed calls. And when I put the number in in Google and I pull it up, and I realize the person's an agent, but I can't find them because I had to go to the MLS to find them. It means they haven't done a good enough job digging deep into the internet to sit there and market themselves.
Right. And for Instagram, it works out great too. If you want ideas for how to be creative on Instagram, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing, who's hashtagging, the same neighborhood you live in. You can hashtag some other popular neighborhood, like hashtag Atlanta Realtor, hashtag San Diego Realtor, something like that, another town, far away, and see what those agents are doing. A lot of them are influencers in their area. They've come up with creative Instagram ideas, and you can use that for inspiration.
So some of the Facebook groups, the one thing I love about Club Wealth is that he's got his open forum there with Michael Hellickson, and it's just everyone can go in there and engage, ask questions. It's funny, you're on a coaching platform and people are asking what's the best coaching company out there. Right. Obviously, you're going to be partial to the company that you're with, or the company. I think all the people in there be partial to the company that's posting in the page. But he's got an open forum there. He's got information he provides out, all that stuff. So it's like, go and find those masterminds those mastermind groups that are like that.
Yes.
And you can dig in and get a lot of information out of there as well.
Yeah, they want to attract people into their coaching ecosystem. So they're going to lead with value. They're giving out a lot of real estate information, a lot of training for free, in hopes that the viewers will be enticed by that and want to sign up for the good stuff. So the Club Wealth Facebook group has over 38,000 people. I'm sure 95% of them are realtors, but there are a lot of similar Facebook groups out there that are mastermind groups, and they're sharing ideas and they're leading with value, and you can get a lot of information for free out there.
So one of them that I wanted to talk about, which we kind of talked about before, I think our first episode of the year, was prospecting and lead generation. What's the best thing for new agents to do? And I've got a lot of people coming at me. Hey, I want to call FSBOs. I want to call expireds. You're a brand new agent. You don't dive into that stuff yet. You've got to have your listing presentation on. You've got to have some oomph behind you to really get those listings. So it's like, my thought is, if you're a new agent trying to find opportunities, is go after buyers, because whoever's a buyer, they've got to sell something to buy. And most people that are selling aren't going to put their house in the market unless you know where they're going. But there's a lot of different avenues online, that you can use to do prospecting and lead generation. It just depends on, one, did you put a business plan together about it? Two, how much is your budget that you want to pay for, and what sources do you want to try and get?
Right. You want to be systematic about it. Like you said, generating buyers. When I was a brand new agent, and I didn't know how to get business, I went to my broker and I said, okay, I've got my license and I've got my buyer folder and I've got my seller folder with all the broker required documents. Like now what do I go do? And back then it was 2004. And he said, put an ad in the Orlando Sentinel and say luxury condos from the mid 100s. And I did that, and the phone rang, because people were looking for that. People were looking for affordable, nice homes at the time. Yeah. Sounds like what's going on today. People are looking for affordable, nice homes. And you can, the MLS is a powerful tool. We have access to almost everything out there that's for sale that buyers want to know about. And you can get as specific as you want in your search criteria. So you can create a simple Facebook post that says, are you looking for a pool home in Florida under $250,000? Connect with me and I'll send you a list of 22 of them. I've got them ready to go. Anything like that, that's what buyers are looking for. There are people out there looking for foreclosures. There are a lot of investors just waiting on the sidelines, waiting for investment opportunities to come about. So you have access, as long as you have access to the MLS, you can go on there and search for foreclosure homes in most of the state of Florida and advertise that you've got a free list of foreclosures for anyone that's interested. Commercial, vacant land to build on. We have access to so much information. We just have to offer it out there. It's free. People will respond, and that's how you generate buyer leads.
Well, that was kind of tying in. I was talking to one of our agents in the office earlier today. She wanted to schedule a time to talk about marketing and what she can do. And I'm like, this is a we business, not an I business. We are one big team in the office. Now we've got my team, and then we have agents in the office. And so I was talking to her about, you want to go in the MLS, look at our office listings, see what's there. And if you have a question, if you can market or not, call me and ask, or if it's another agent's listing, please let's just reach out and say, hey, Sasha, do you mind if I go ahead and advertise this $1.6 million 20-acre horse ranch in Ormond Beach? Sure. Go ahead. I would love to go to Ormond and sell something for $1.6 million. But you take that and you post it. But if you post that property or those 22 lakefront homes, use your database system or your website to post it. So anybody that clicks on it, you can get the information registered back to you on your website. You don't want to post a Zillow link with 22 listings or your general MLS link.
Right. You want engagement from that person. If you don't know about landing pages and squeeze pages, at least get them to respond to you and say, yes, I would like that list. Email me, text me. Yep. As long as you can get the contact information of the person that wants to list, that's a lead.
Yep, that's a perfect way to do it. So one of the other things I was looking at, people, like, they get their license, they get into lead generation, and they're like, now what do I do next? You've got your broker required documents. Half the people don't know how to write a contract, and they're out showing houses, they're doing all this stuff, and it's like, hey, I'm going to call you around 4 o'clock because I'm going to need to write a contract. You need to know about that stuff before you're even working with buyers, because if you're sitting with a buyer and they ask you, well, what are the next steps? You better have that in place. Right. So I always love when they get out of school that they go to one of our boot camps where we talk about the state contracts. Or if I get an opportunity, let's sit down and let's talk about what goes into the contract, what to look for while you're in the house, learn those things.
Yeah, you definitely have to become familiar with this paperwork. We're not attorneys, but attorneys have written these contracts. All we have to do is fill in the blanks and know what the contract says. Like, we don't have to explain anything. We're not supposed to practice law and give our own interpretation anyway. So just be familiar with what's in the paperwork. And so that way, when you get that customer that's ready to go, you know what to say and what to do. And this leads me into the tip that I was going to give is there's so much free information out there. New agents should be out there studying, their YouTube videos. You could look up the contract that's used in your area and find a YouTube video on it and watch an attorney give a presentation on that real estate contract, no matter where you do business in. Title companies are always offering free workshops to invite agents in and learn from an attorney or learn from an expert in the field what these contracts say. And there's so much of that free information out there. Take advantage of it as much as possible. Facebook groups like Club Wealth, Michael Hellickson, there's podcasts. They're just sharing tons of information from, marketing information to legal information, accounting information that you need to know as a real estate agent. It's free. So these are all, we're trying to share things because as new agents, we're sensitive to the fact that not everyone comes into real estate with a boatload of money. In fact, probably very few people become realtors because, they were so wealthy in their previous career. So we're being sensitive to that fact.
So kind of to wrap up, one of the last things you and I had exchanged this morning was get a mentor and or a real estate coach. So I want to just kind of dive into that a little bit. There's two differences between a mentor and a coach. A coach is someone who's going to help build your business. A mentor is going to help someone guide you along the path of the contracts and what's going on locally. And I want to have you dive in on coaching, and I'll dive in on mentoring.
Yeah, so a coach is going to help you create a business plan, help you stick to it. You're going to have one-on-one communications with your coach. They're going to, together, you're both going to identify what are your weak areas and strategies for working around those weak areas to accomplish your business plan. And they're going to, do a deep dive into your life, into your family life, into your strengths, into your weaknesses, into what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do to generate real estate sales. And they're going to guide you all along, and it's going to be a long-term relationship. Give us a few things about mentors.
So the mentors, like for our team, when you join us, we've got our sales leaders who kind of play the coach, or don't play. They will coach the agents. And then we've got the mentor who's going to teach them about the contracts and about like different scripts and sales techniques to put the contract together and get the deal done. That's all I want a mentor to do. That's all a mentor should be doing. The mentors, if they were coaches, then they would be obviously pushing higher. But I think if you want to have someone that's just going to dive into just the sales side with you, and then the coach is going to help build your business, path forward. And the mentor should know the state contracts. They don't need to know it to the broker level, but they need to understand it and be able to help you write that contract so you can knock it out quick and get on to your next one.
Right. I see a mentor as someone who's going to hold your hand as a realtor and walk you from, the first step of the real estate process once you have an interested buyer until the closing date. So that way, kind of like training wheels for your first few transactions.
Again, on the podcast I was listening to this morning, the guy mentioned it's sad we don't have apprenticeship in this business anymore, where I'd come work with you, Danny. I'm going to work with you for, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year, however long I felt I needed before I was let off with, onto my own. And, that's because I want to learn, the mentor should be at showings with you. They should be at the listing presentation with you. And it's usually about 3 to 5 deals before we feel you're comfortable to be on your own doing that stuff. Mm-hmm. And help pick out things about the house, that need to be done, and MLS searches, doing all that stuff. So
right. So those, big differences between a mentor and a coach. A coach wouldn't be going with you on a showing or, standing shoulder to shoulder with you at an open house, but a mentor might.
Yep, that's the perfect idea. So anything else you want to add? I think we've covered some good topics here. We're going to be back next Monday with some more coaching tips. We'll kind of fly by the seat of our pants sometimes. Sometimes we've got a whole list for you guys. But I just thought this would be great to talk to new agents today about this stuff, because it was just something I saw in a post this morning. I thought this is something we got to dive into, Danny.
So many people are getting into the real estate industry, and a lot of times the more experienced realtors get frustrated that the less experienced realtors are giving them a bad name or making them look bad, or bad reputation. So don't be one of those agents that doesn't seek help, doesn't do their homework. It takes a lot to be professional. It takes a lot to be successful. So just put in the work, and the industry will be very rewarding to you.
Yeah, and they'll be very respectful of you doing what you need to do to help elevate our level of standards that we have going on.
Absolutely.
So, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Daniel Betancourt and Todd Schroth here. Appreciate it. See you guys on my show on Friday. Agents Who, when we got Patty Herrera coming on to talk about what she's doing for coaching and mentoring her agents.
Sweet. Have an awesome week.
All right, you guys, awesome week.